If this were an EKG, we'd have some odd things happening with our heart here, but it's not that. It's a one-year chart for initial unemployment claims in Texas. Whew. You know what though? There's still something odd about this. After an initial spike in jobless claims in January, we got into an up and down rhythm for many months. But then, boom, first week of September, the largest weekly batch of unemployment claims in Texas, not only for this year, but going all the way back to pandemic times, 2021. So let's zoom back in though. This would mean that Texas had 92% more unemployment claims in the first week of September than it had in the last week of August. That signals big trouble if it's true, which the state says it's not. The Texas Workforce Commission says that spike is directly related to an increased volume of fraudulent claim attempts, fake unemployment applications using identity fraud. Now, they're saying that if you as an employee or an employer get correspondence from TWC for an unemployment claim that you're not aware of, you need to let them know now on their secure portal because of all of this. Now, I had so many more questions for them though. Have the perpetrators been caught? Did they get any money? How was this detected? Is law enforcement involved? Has the claim system been strengthened? TWC tells me simply that their systems are working to detect and shut down these suspicious claims. Now, they wouldn't answer the rest of my questions, saying that they don't want to provide fraudsters with any additional information. Okay, but the plot thickens too though. We have since gotten another week of unemployment data that shows numbers not as high as what we saw in the first week of September, but still unusually elevated. Remember how that first week of September unemployment application was up 92% from the last week of August. Well, the number of unemployment claims for the second week of September is still a very significant increase of 62% more than we saw in the last week of August. I'm still trying to sort all this out and figure out what's happening, how it's happening, whether there's any fix for this, and critically to get clarity. If these numbers aren't real, and maybe those aren't either, then what are the unemployment numbers here? Which is important to know as we're seeing more uncertainty in the U.S. economy. Last thing of note, we know that public schools have been struggling for years from a lack of state funding increases. They finally saw one this year, but it was much less than some were hoping for, and we've been hearing of staff cuts and school closures. Well, we can see this in the numbers now too. The Workforce Commission lists the 5 industries with the most unemployment claims for each one of the 28 regions they break the state into. It struck me that recently in every one of those regions, primary and secondary schools were listed as one of the 5 biggest contributors to unemployment claims, and it holds statewide too, where schools beat out all other industries for the number of jobless claims for a month-long period from August into September. More crucial information about all of this in my story posted today at Jason Wheeler TV on Facebook, Threads, and Blue Sky, where we're trying to stay right on the money.